I can't believe this guy's going for the early queen attack. The guy's 1,000. Let me show you guys how to immediately beat this. First of all, he's threatening a checkmate on f7. We have to play pawn to g6, chase away the queen. When they pull the queen back to f3, it means they are still threatening a checkmate on f7. But to prevent this, we're just gonna develop the knight and guard the checkmate. Now, pawn c3 is not a bad try because it does prevent the knight d4 move, and knight d4 is usually the plan. Now, the mistake that I see a lot of persons make is they put the bishop here, and that's going to cost you the game. The bishop has to go here to cover your dark squares, and then he immediately plays pawn to h4. Now, this guy is someone who is trying to win the game quickly, but we know how to beat these guys. Let's just follow regular development. Let's just play pawn d6. I'm trying to develop my bishop. I knew he was going to play pawn to h5, but that's just a free pawn. And I'm not even going to take the pawn by putting my knight on the edge of the board. I'm going to develop my bishop and attack his queen. Now, I'm forcing his queen to move, and then once the queen moves, then I take the free pawn. Now, keep in mind, his e4 pawn was guarded. He decided to sacrifice his rook. I'm not going to take with the pawn, so that way he takes my bishop on g7. I'm going to take with the knight and attack his queen. Now I'm just completely winning. And again, he's just trying to checkmate on f7, but now I'm just going to castle my king, and I'm just ahead by 3 points. Now, pawn g4 attacks my knight. This guy's super aggressive, but none of these attacks will be working. Let's just play knight to f4. And then he plays pawn to d3. So basically, he's trying to apply some pressure to my knight. But I'll let him have a pawn here. His king is in the center of the board. My king is not in the center. What do? We play moves like pawn to d5. It doesn't matter if it's a sacrifice. The goal is to open the center. Now he takes. Now, I'm not gonna lie. What I would love to do is play pawn to e5, but then my knight is gonna be hanging. So let's just pull the knight back to e7, and I still want to take this. But again, this guy, he plays quickly. He's trying to win quickly. Let's just take his bishop, and then once his queen takes, now I'm able to take on d5. Now keep in mind, again, his king is in the center of the board. He will be getting checkmated. First, let's take the bishop. I have 30 seconds on the clock, so I have to put some pep in my game. But he took on c7, and this is where it's over. Because first thing I'm going to do is take on d3, so that way once I check his king, he's not able to block the check, and then this is a checkmate. So I'm going to checkmate him by simply playing rook to e8 check. The king has nowhere to go. He is forced to block with the knight. I mean, if he blocks with the queen, I'm just going to take with the queen. If he blocks with the knight, well, he blocks with the queen. First, we grab the queen. He has to block with the knight, and that's a checkmate. Hit subscribe for more.